Hello, welcome to Where We Knit. My name is Kristin and I'm coming to you from Minneapolis, Minnesota in the US. And this is my little corner of the internet where I talk about all things that I make, mostly knitting and my obsession with yarn. And that is what I'm talking about today. And today's episode is all about a specific yarn that I was introduced to by getting a kit for this amazing poncho for Christmas a few years ago. This poncho is called the Brookside poncho, and it's by a designer by the name of Tayler Harris. And as soon as I saw it on Ravelry, I kept going back to it and back to it and back to it. And then I clicked on the yarn that it was made in, and it happened to be this June Cashmere. Now, I had never knit with June Cashmere before, I had never knit with cashmere before. Nothing. Maybe 10% in a pair of socks that I've knit, but nothing 100% pure cashmere. And I got the kit for Christmas from my mom. I started knitting it right away, and this is my poncho. I'll put a picture of me wearing it right here. So this is, if someone asked me if you could choose one item that you knit to keep forever, pass down, whatever it might be, you could only keep one item, and you know I have a ton that I have knit. I mean, a ton. Maybe not as many as others, but I have a lot. It would be this. This is like my prized possession. I don't really wear it to work. I usually just wear it when I go out. I don't wear it to work because I work with young kids and I don't want to have to wash it every time, but I wear it a lot. It is so cozy. It's made with their fingering weight, with June Cashmere Fingering weight. I love the colorways. I love everything about it. So I did a deep dive into June Cashmere. They have a newsletter. They have a blog on their newsletter or on their website. And I did a deep dive to learn all about this company because I was really intrigued because of the fact that the cashmere for this yarn comes from Kyrgyzstan, from goats in Kyrgyzstan. And honestly, when I made a purchase recently for a friend, I bought her a 1-skein kit for a pair of fingerless mitts for Christmas, and this came in the package. Yep, you got me right there. Look at this little muffin holding her goat, and she is one of the families where the cashmere comes from. Let me just read the little piece on the back for you. And then I'm gonna move on to how this specific episode is structured because it's jam-packed and I can't wait to share it with you. So on the back of this sweet little picture, it says, intertwined in each skein of yarn is a story of a family living in Kyrgyzstan, shepherding herds of elite cashmere goats. Your yarn purchase provides economic support to these families and to the communities in which they live. Done. That's all I needed to know. All right, so I'm going to move on to talking a little bit what's going to happen next in this episode. I met up with Amy. Amy runs the yarn piece of June Cashmere. She is out of Columbus, Ohio, and I recently had the opportunity to interview her on a very, very, very polar vortex cold day in both Columbus and Minneapolis. And I'm gonna switch over to that role now. After that, I'm gonna talk to you about 2 items I recently finished in June Cashmere, 2 smaller items, 1 thing I have on the needles, 2 things on my wish list, and then I didn't forget, I will share my favorite things that are not related to June Cashmere. Without further ado, here is my interview with Amy. And after that interview, I will tell you all about a special discount that they're offering Where We Knit viewers, and also about a little present. I don't want to use the G word because I know that there are trolls on YouTube that just look for that G word and then come in and sort of corrupt that opportunity for my viewers. So I'm going to call it a present. A present is going to be given to someone. You'll learn all about it after the interview. See you right after. Hi, Amy.
Hello, Kristen. How are you?
I'm well. We're freezing in Minneapolis. How are you in Columbus?
The same. I'm layered in cashmere.
Yes, of
I am
course you
so
are. I am as
cold.
well.
Yes.
All right, we're so excited to have you here on Where We Knit, and I can't wait to just learn a little bit about you and about June Cashmere. And so let's just dig in. And I guess I'm going to just ask you, how did you become involved in June Cashmere?
Well, this is my second career. I was an academic. I taught Spanish at university for several years, and I come from a family of makers and a very rural type living, and I've always loved textiles. And so I wanted to transition into a second career. And, long story short, for several years in between, I started a blog to have a business card so that I could, explore ways to find a position. And I met Cy, the founder of June Cashmere, at his very first, this was like 2016, one of his very first little yarn shows. It was here in Columbus, Ohio. And he was just starting out. This was after, several years of development, and he had his first product to sell, and it was some fingering and DK weight cashmere yarn in 4 colors only. And I was so taken by what he was doing and the yarn itself that I said, would you meet me for my little blog? And I could write about you. Well, then we met, and then I actually submitted an article into, I don't know if your readers know, Selvage magazine. It's out of Great
Mhm.
Britain, and got accepted and got the article for him. And it was he was home from Kyrgyzstan, so he lives there full time with his family, but he needed to go back after a few months of being home and getting the sales started. And so he wondered if I was interested in working for him, and I jumped on it.
Yay, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, just like you being taken with his story, I've been taken with the story as well, and I've been talking to my viewers about how I have read your newsletter from the very beginning and how I am taken not only by the photos, but also just all of the information that you share about how June Cashmere came to be and how it is helping the nomads of Kyrgyzstan. And so, all right. So next question. What makes June Cashmere different from other cashmeres that us as knitters, as fiber artists see on the market? What's different about June Cashmere?
Well, when we early when I started to work for Psy, we had a couple other folks that I met with, and somebody came up with the phrase, "It's more than yarn." And I'm like, that totally encompasses like my answer to your question, which is everything. But and then later on there was another phrase that like sort of sums up. So if I say it's more than yarn, and then I end with it's cashmere as it should be, then it's really kind of encompasses what makes us different. And that is, first of all, it's more than yarn, it's cashmere. Cashmere is a very precious commodity for yarn. I don't know if your readers know, but or listeners, viewers, a goat only produces about 4 ounces of cashmere a year. And then you lose a large percentage of that weight. So in the processing, so there might be dirt and moisture and, and then all the
Vegetable
steps of
matter.
processing.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
then you need 4 to 6 goats to get enough fiber for a sweater. Whereas for wool from sheep, you could get quantities for 4 to 6 sweaters out of just one sheep. So it's cashmere, that's precious. And because it's precious, I know that Cy believed, and I believe that this cashmere should honor everybody involved. So we can tell you where our cashmere is sourced. It's sourced from shepherds in Kyrgyzstan. We can tell you what it's meant to do. It's meant to provide economic development for the country and extra income for the shepherds. There are no middlemen, so we pay the shepherds fair market value and above, directly to them. It is about where it's processed and how it's processed. So there have been problems with cashmere in our recent history in terms of production. And so Cy, when he started out, took great care in eliminating those concerns so that this cashmere is produced in the most sustainable, ethical, and transparent way possible. So those are like end goals, right? But we are doing really well in those areas. And then the yarn itself, we take to Great Britain to be milled, and we send only the longest, most uniform fibers. And Great Britain has a tradition of milling cashmere so that it lasts. They do not over mill their cashmere. They do not prematurely bring out the bloom. So you have a yarn. In fact, I have some yarn. You have a yarn that is soft, but the magic happens when you wash it the first time. And then it just continues with wash and wear. And I can, for example, I can tell customers, this is the Norah Gaughan Sand Waves poncho. It's one of the layers I have on. Oh,
It's
this
so beautiful.
arrived. It is beautiful. It arrived from the designer in 2017. I wear it and wear it and wear it and rub it. And I'm going to show you, like, it has no pilling. Never going to say never on pilling, but this yarn is milled as it should be. It's a precious commodity. It should last the maker. The stitch definition, the drape, they are
It's
exquisite.
amazing. Yeah.
I'm just
So is
very,
that
very
the
proud of the
fingering
yarn.
weight? Is that the fingering weight that you're
This is the
showing?
fingering weight. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
same with this. And I was telling the viewers of my channel as well, there's absolutely no pilling in this. I often say about other things that it just feels like butter. It literally just feels like butter. It's so soft
It's so
and
soft. It's so nice
so
against
soft
the
and
skin.
so durable. And this is really one of my prize items in my wardrobe that will never ever go away. Well, that will be handed down to someone. So
Yay,
yeah, I think
that's exactly what we hope for. You asked about the decay, so if here's the difference that here's fingering. This is our natural color. And it's undyed, unbleached. And then this is one of our colors. This is called moss. And so the fingering is 3-ply and the DK is 6-ply. So
wow. Awesome. So what are you most proud of? You might have already touched on that with the whole sustainability and helping out the people of Kyrgyzstan and the shepherds there, but what are you most proud of in representing June Cashmere?
I mean, I have to say everything from those two things that I said before. It's more than yarn and it's cashmere as it should be. And then that encompasses everything in between. So I am proud of the original work that it does in Kyrgyzstan. I am proud of how it's milled and made. We go to Yorkshire, Great Britain. They were the original creators of the machinery that can mill cashmere. We don't have mills in the US that can mill cashmere. But that region is struggling. They need our support as well. If we could, we started out and we dyed in the US, but that dyer went out of business. So we now dye in the UK. But it's an area that needs our support as well. So it's not just Kyrgyzstan, but it's supporting those small family processors. I am really proud of the finished product and what we just said about it and how it lasts and how it's just, I always say, may you find joy in making with our yarn. And I want that to truly be the case. And then I think what I've really learned in this process is that, the customer is very important, but creating community. So we have a knitting together every other Sunday that's on Zoom, and everybody is welcome to come. So you can find that information on our website. But creating community and having sort of the opportunity from producer, from shepherd to mill people to makers, everybody, that this company and this yarn try to honor all of those things. And
I
I'm
love
just
that.
really proud of that.
Yeah, something very important to be proud of, that's for sure. So you just talked about how you have the yarn dyed in the UK. Can you tell us, where does your color palette come from? Because I love it. I have one of your color cards and I love that color palette. And if I could have a sweater and many different garments made in this color palette alone, I'd be happy.
Right, right. I have them, I'm working with the dyer right now and I have all the colors laid out. And here's another set. Oh, but this grouping of like, oh, our terracotta, our black cherry and our stonecrop, I'm like, and then you throw in a little, possibly a little pumpkin or a little contrast. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love the.
Yeah, I love the color palette of this yarn.
Well, all of the original colors were before me. So that was Cy, and then he
Okay.
hired a consultant, Karen Strom. She's been a long time editor in the knitting community for magazines. And it's a developing program in Kyrgyzstan. So what most high-end cashmere purchasers for, say, Burberry's or something, they want a cream colored cashmere so that they can dye on top of that and then get very clear colors. Well, when you have a developing sort of project, the goats that were discovered native to Kyrgyzstan, there were a lot of tan producing or brown producing. Here's cashmere right off the goat. It's really rough. It's really rough and this is very brown. And there weren't a lot of cream colored goats. So consequently, what the result is our natural, which is undyed, unbleached, is a combination, a blending of all the colors that come off the goats. So we dye on top of that. And I'm very glad that Cy chose not to bleach. And
Me too.
yeah, so what you get in our colors then is a really rich depth of color because we dye, and you can see it in these colors. So I'll just bring a few back again. Is like you can see that brown undertone, even in a solid color like gray. This is our slate color. It creates also a very cohesive palette because they
Yeah.
start with this.
Yep. Yep.
And so how they chose the original colors, I don't know for sure. I
Okay.
mean, you start out with, you need, right, a blue and a green and a yellow and a whatever. And
Yep.
they created a basic palette, I think, of 8 colors. And then when I came on board, we began to expand and we sort of looked at the palette and said, what's missing? And so our black cherry really enriched sort of the line. And this color hadn't been produced yet. And so then we were trying to bring some colors that had like a lighter value. So you could do some color work. Now we're up to 16 and in some cases 18 colors. And what I'm finding now is that we're in a position to try to scale and get back into some wholesale shops, to get our yarn more available to people. And when we have so many colors, I think that it's makes it difficult to scale. But at the same time, I think, we have clear data now as to what the favorite colors are that people purchase. So I want to create a smaller palette that is constant and then have more opportunity to bring in a sort of limited edition colors. So that keeps things alive and keeps it like fun, I think. And I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That would be fun. I can't wait to see what you develop with that, with different colors. So
As for
last
me,
question is,
well,
go
wait,
ahead.
so just on color, as for me, I have no scientific anything that I use for color. I have lots of inspiration. I look at nature, I look at our palette, I look at what fits, I look at, what fashion is doing. And then I have to send little fabric swatches to the dyer to see what they can reproduce, and I get little samples back. And then I choose, and among the samples I choose based on those things. Well, what's going to look best in our palette with what's here, and what, here are 3 of these blues of one blue, which one, like, put them by faces, which one like makes a face pop. And then those are the kinds of things that I don't have anything scientific though that I do.
Well, at least you're honest about it, right?
Yeah, and I don't know if you're supposed to, but that's what I do.
Yeah. Okay. Honest answer.
Yeah.
Last question, because I'm so excited that you're offering a giveaway for people who subscribe to both my channel and your newsletter. And I've been telling my subscribers or my viewers how, and I've already said it in this interview, how intrigued I am by your newsletters, because you can go all the way back and read some of those really cool. Yes. And but I also wanted to just say thank you for offering the giveaway. But I also want to say, tell us about your one skein projects. Like, what's your favorite? What does it look like? Tell us about the giveaway that you're willing to give one of our lucky subscribers of both your newsletter and my podcast.
So I've gotten into some designing, and I just because of the yarn, and why, creativity is partly why I wanted to do this. And I've been very purposeful on the one skein projects. I wanted them to be beautiful. I wanted them just to take one skein. And when you say one skein, then hopefully it's a little less than one skein so that people aren't, playing yarn chicken. And so those are like big limitations. And as I look at those, so we have when you get on our homepage, there's a little box that says one skein projects, and there's some in DK, there's some in fingering, there are cowls, there are mitts, there are hats, there are scarves, and I'm not sure I could choose. Everybody has different tastes. So
yeah, that's true. I did
don't
give it as a holiday gift to someone this year, a one skein project with some fingerless mitts, and she loved it. So,
Oh,
and
I'm
it
so
comes
glad.
with the pattern, correct? It comes with the pattern.
Yes. So here's what you get. So what's happening is when you sign up, like you said, for our newsletter and your
Podcast.
YouTube channel,
Yep.
you're registered, and we'll randomly choose a recipient of a one skein kit, and we'll ship it to you. But you get our kit bag, which you don't usually get with one skein kits. You get them with larger kits, but you'll get the kit bag, which is a great kit bag. And these are made by a wonderful company in India that employs women in need. So there's that. Then you get the skein of yarn, and you get to choose the color. And it's fingering or DK based on the project you chose. And so the color is what's in stock. And then you get a little download coupon for a pattern, the pattern that goes with your kit. And you get to choose whichever kit you want. Because
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Everybody's
Thank you.
different.
So I'll put all of these details in the show notes of this week's taping or blog. And I can't thank you enough for taking the time to talk with me. I'm really excited about this yarn tasting for my viewers and hopefully soon your newsletter subscribers. And all of the information I'll share after this video. So thank you for taking time to talk to me today.
Well, thank you for, loving our yarn, loving the Brookside, and wanting to talk about us. That's means an incredible amount to a small company like us.
So isn't that interesting? I loved learning all about how this yarn is made, where it's coming from, and just a little bit of background about their company. So Amy gifted me a couple pieces, a couple skeins of yarn, and I wanted to try out a couple other things with it. And so I wanted to show you a couple things that I have finished. I recently just made the penny gloves out of the fingering weight held double. This is a PetiteKnit pattern. I love these things. They are so sweet. This is a really popular pattern on Ravelry. And I had to create this same sort of stripe motif here and here because I love it. This is the dark cherry, scarlet, curry, Stonecrop, and then just the natural base. Love it. These have been keeping me warm when I'm on my computer, in my classroom, at school. They've been keeping me warm just when I'm driving. I do have a heated steering wheel, so sometimes I just pop on a pair of fingerless mitts. I love how far they go up. I love this stripe motif, and they finished really, really quickly. So this could be, they're not really blacked out yet, so you can see a little bit of a change here, but this could be a really nice gift for someone. Think Valentine's Day, think birthday, or a really nice gift to yourself. So I just finished these penny gloves. The other thing, I'm sure you're seeing it all over Ravelry, is it's by, I believe it's by, I'm gonna put it down here. It's a Japanese designer who made this. It's called the double knit scarf. And I made this out of 1.5 skeins of June Cashmere DK. And if you watched my videos before, you know I love a little something around my neck. I'm crazy about the cowl. But this is just, you can make it at different lengths. I could have made mine longer, but it's double knit, and double knit takes me a really long time. I love this little scarf. I'm gonna wear it with a little jean jacket. Here's what it would look like with a jean jacket. I'm gonna make my mom one for her birthday. It's coming up on February 14th. But this is just this little, also something to know. I was talking with my Mr. Where We Knit, and it would be great for a guy in one of the colors. I'm thinking like black cherry, which is this color that is so dark it almost looks like black. It's beautiful. I love this curry color, even natural. There's a bunch of colors on the website. I did modify mine, so I'm gonna put mine up in on my Ravelry page, which you'll see all the information on this video is in my show notes. So you'll just see, love it. It's called the double knit scarf. So those are two things that I've already finished with some yarn from June Cashmere, and I'm starting something different. I have been emailing with Amy a little bit back and forth, just wondering, because this is such precious yarn, is it really a crime to pair it with mohair? And the only reason why I would do that is because I started a pair of socks, okay? These socks are oversized. They're gonna be a DK weight because I'm holding fingering plus mohair that I had in my stash. And I mean, the lusciousness of this cashmere paired with also a little bit of mohair is pretty special. I'm just starting the heel flap, and I love it. These are gonna be bed socks. They're oversized, they're a DK weight. So I have a bunch of little baby leftovers from some yarn support that Amy gave me to just make up a few things. I'll have enough for a pair of like bed socks. So I'm working that up. Now let's talk about, first of all, let's talk about the discount that you get. It's in the show notes, but I will also say, if you are interested in trying out June Cashmere for something small, something big, or something small, the great thing is that on their website, they have a bunch of one skein projects. And I think it's lovely because you can make something, you could have made these penny gloves with one skein of fingering held double. That would be enough without the striping. So some really good ones that I think are on their website are the Journey mitts, which I'll put a picture here. I'm gonna put a picture up of all of the ones that I think would be great one skein projects, but also look at all of the ones on their website. The all day cowl, again, you know, I love a good cowl. Here's Sweet Amy with hers. Here's a picture of it by itself. The all season slouchy hat. I mean, think about those days, at least here in Minneapolis, where it's April, but it's still a little bit frigid. So you kind of need something around your head when you're going out for walks and such. Though I really think that this all seasons slouchy hat would be beautiful. Amy also has a new pattern coming out with tutorials, I believe, on their website, which is a really cool mosaic brim. So check that out. But what's on my wish list, because I have one of these bigger Kermits and it is like my prized possession, what's on my wish list is the Sand Waves poncho, because I love a good poncho, by Norah Gaughan. I mean, check this out. And I think in the interview, Amy is also wearing her Sand Waves. It's so beautiful. And then Tayler Harris also has something that's really caught my eye that's made in the DK weight, is called Crosswater. And if you see it here, it's this cute little like short sleeve cardigan, which for me would be fantastic. You could wear it just short sleeves, but you could also in the winter or in the fall, you could wear it with a t-shirt underneath it, a long sleeve tee. So Tayler, I think that is, if you're watching, that is a beautiful pattern, and it has a little bit of texture in it, which is really a big thing right now. So those are two that are on my wish list. Now let's talk about the discount. So Amy's graciously offering viewers 10% off with the code WWK10. Now please note, that is for spinning fiber, that is for cones, that is for the DK weight, and that is for the fingering yarn. They have other things on their website, but the discount WWK10 will only work for the yarn. Okay, so check out some of the kits and maybe find a one skein project to try out. The other thing I wanted to mention is that if you subscribe to my channel and you subscribe to Amy's newsletter, we have a little present for someone that will be announced in the next episode here on Where We Knit, and that is a one skein project. So you get your name in the hat for this present, and the one skein project of your choice on their site. We will contact you. It will be announced on the next video, which would be episode number 22. And we will get in contact with you. You'll be able to pick out one skein of yarn of your color choice and one pattern, and it will come in a cute little bag like this, a little project bag, which these are really nice. I have a couple of them. The other thing I wanted to mention, Amy's also offering with a purchase of $70 or more, you get free shipping in the United States. So check it out. Check out June Cashmere. All right, I am excited about my favorite things because, of course, my favorite things. So one of the things I was thinking about this week, because I have a commute of about 30 minutes to drive every day to work. And you also know that I knit a ton. And so I I used to be a voracious reader. And now that I'm knitting all the time, I was missing, that piece of stories and things like that. So I have the Libby app. Do you know about the Libby app? It's an app that you can get on your phone or your iPad or whatever, and it's connected to the library, to your local library, and you can, maybe not just to your local library. I'm not quite sure how that piece works. I'll have to ask my librarian friend, Kristin, how that works. But you have to have a library card, and you put in your library card information, and you can create this huge queue, just like you do on Ravelry, and you can, download these books onto your phone or whatever you use for listening. And I think it's great. Right now I'm listening to the autobiography of Cher, part 1. She reads pieces of it. It's fascinating. It's sad. She lived a really hard life as a kid and whatever. I won't go into it, but It's a good listen. And then I have 2 usually going at the same time. And the other one is, I had to write it down because I didn't want to mess it up. Lula Dean's Library of Banned Books by Kristin Miller. It's fabulous. So one of my favorite things, the Libby app. Check it out. It's a great way to get free books to listen to on audiobook. You can also get books and read them like on your Kindle and such. So I don't have a Kindle, so I don't know a lot about that piece, but the Libby app is one of my favorite things. The next favorite thing I wanted to talk to you about is, I don't do it a ton anymore, but now that when we go to friends' cabins and such, I do bring a puzzle. And it's kind of a drag to, like, I don't know if any of you have those roll-up mats, but I haven't had good luck with those when you're, taking a puzzle somewhere else. But I don't know, a handful of years ago, I got this puzzle mat from, I think I got it from my mom again. And this puzzle mat is so perfect because also it's really nice. Like, we just put puzzles out on our dining room table, and the kids, when the kids were around, they would, do like a half hour here or there. We just leave it out for the weekend, but it'd be on the dining room table. You don't want to keep it out until you finish the puzzle. So you can just zip, 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 Velcro it down. We stick it underneath the couch. And then when we want to use the puzzle again, we can pull it out. Now, if we travel to a friend's cabin and we want to bring the puzzle and let them sort of work on it, this puzzle mat is amazing. I'm not getting kickbacks from all this stuff. So I just want you to know, like, none of it. I'm not getting money from June Cashmere. I'm not getting money from the Porta puzzle, but it's one of my favorite things. And so check it out. If you're a puzzler and you like to go to people's cabins, or you want to bring your puzzle from your home to your cabin, you just zip it right into your hatchback or your trunk or whatever, put all your other stuff on top of it, and then there's your puzzle. It's genius. I love it. And then the last thing is, a couple weeks ago, I went with my friends Randa and Joan, and I was packing up my bag with all my yarny stuff. And everyone was like, where did you get that bag? And so I'll show you the bag. So I'm a huge fan of Hygge. I've said this before. Now this looks like it's matching, but I'm a huge fan of Hygge. And I bought myself this bag after the holidays when it was on sale. I had my eye on it, and I use it for knitting. I use it for work every day. It's grand. And so it looks like this. And it is called the carry-all bag. I'll put the information. It might be sold out. It has a long strap and a short strap, and it has this piece so you can cinch it in the middle, and off you go. So it looks a lot smaller this way, which I like it if I'm carrying it for a purse or something when we're traveling, but it is the large carry-all tote by Hygge, and I find her online. So all of the links to the things that I talked about are in the show notes. Thanks for watching today. I know it was a little bit of a different episode, but I don't know. I love it. I love this cashmere. It is a luxury yarn. If you're in the position to try it out, great. If you're not, that's okay too. But I just wanted to tell you a little bit about Amy and a little bit about how we can help these families in Kyrgyzstan with the purchase of yarns. I know it's not for everyone, but I still wanted to scream it because it is a favorite. It's not something that I knit with every day, but it is definitely in my top 10 favorite yarns. So have a wonderful weekend, and I can't wait to see you next time. In the next episode, I'm talking about marled yarns and marling your own yarns from your stash for different projects. See you later. Bye.